would your character do if they hit rock bottom? I haven't done a writing exercise video in a while, so that's what this is all about. Stick around to find out all the details of this evil prompt. Let's get started. Hey guys, Nour here, and welcome back to my channel. For those visiting for the first time, hello! I'm the fantasy author of the novel Divinity Falling. Be sure to subscribe for weekly writing advice videos. So I want you to write a scene where your character is in the pit of despair. Sounds dramatic, I know, but that's because it is. The best part about writing this scene is that it's fantastic for character development. Even if you choose not to include this scene in your book, it will certainly help you flesh out your character and figure out what's most important to them. Plus, it'll allow you to delve deep and discover how your character behaves in their worst possible moment. For one, you could choose to make this scene the climactic moment in your book. You know, the moment where your character is facing the big bad and it's not looking good. For two, this scene can be hypothetical. It can be what your character fears the most. Whether or not their fears come true in the book is up to you. But this scene can certainly be a reminder to them that there's a lot at risk. Of course, if you write this scene as a hypothetical scene, you could choose to include it in your book or keep it as a separate reference of what your character fears the most. And thirdly, you could write the scene as a backstory, showing the lowest point in your character's life thus far. So it would be an explanation of how they got the way they currently are. So what kind of things can you write about? Well, this part is up to you and depends on what kind of story you're writing. For example, it could literally be the end of the world in your book, and your character's worst moment can be facing this impending death. Or maybe you're writing a romance novel. In that case, maybe your character's worst moment is finding out that the person they love cheated on them or is married. Of course, if you're writing a happy ending, the pit of despair doesn't have to be how things end. You can get your character out of it and have them triumph. But for this exercise, you're only writing about their worst moment. Think hard about what your character is afraid of losing and write a scene where they lose it or are on the verge of losing it. And be sure to describe how they react. Do they just give up? Do they get up and fight harder despite knowing they're going to fail? Do they say anything memorable? Do they reach out to people they haven't seen in a long time? Every character will have a unique reaction to what's going on. Figure out how your character is unique and write that into the scene. Of course, I would like to mention that all good writers think of their character's worst moments. It's part of character development. It can even be the backstory portion of your character development or the things they fear portion. Not to mention, it really helps you plot. But now you're taking your thoughts and actually writing a scene that highlights your character's behavior. So that's all I have for you today. I'd love to know, what's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of your character in the pit of despair? Let me know in the comments. If you're new to my channel, be sure to subscribe. I put out weekly writing advice videos that will take your story to the next level. Also, don't forget to follow me on social media to see what I'm up to from day to day and to chat with me. And before we go, I just want to give a quick shout out to Sarah Frayne and Alan J. Early from my shout out tier over on Patreon, as well as all my amazing patrons. Thank you all so much for your support. I really appreciate you. And remember, Nour for president!